In the summer of 2011, students and researchers affiliated with NEAR centers across Canada gathered at the 11th Annual National Gathering of Graduate Students in Aboriginal Health Research and the Aboriginal Health Research Network Secretariat Conference held at the University of Regina and First Nations University of Canada. Over 3 days, funders, graduate students, lead researchers, as well as respected Aboriginal community members and partners presented many different perspectives on the advancement of Aboriginal health research in Canada.
The only way, in my opinion, to undertake Aboriginal health research is if it is community-based, because for too long researchers came into Aboriginal communities, parachuted in, extracted information for their own benefit and left. So I think that the only way to do research with, by and for Aboriginal communities is community-based research. It must be community-based.
For a long time, I think that we haven't done community-based research, and we have to look at the result of that. We haven't seen a lot of positive change come from the research that's been done in the past. And what we really need to do is look to the people who have knowledge on their own lives. So the community knows their own problems. So when you work with the community who has this type of intelligence that researchers haven't traditionally looked at, we have a whole new type of knowledge coming forth that can actually be used to make positive change. It's not research just for research, it's research to help people, and it's research with people, not on people.
So it's not just me driving the research for my own agenda. It's the research is driven by Métis people, for Métis people, by Métis people. We are part of the community and we're giving back to the community, but we're doing it for and with the community.
Well, we know now that Aboriginal people living in the city make up a larger proportion of our Aboriginal population. And we know that youth is the fastest growing group of Aboriginal people. And we want to look at how culture affects them in the city, because we know that culture is a really important determinant of health for Aboriginal people.
I guess what really drives the work that I've been involved in is looking at some of the impact of kind of getting a little bit at the social determinants of health and how the environments in which we live influence our health. And so there's a strong need to address what some of these health disparities are occurring in our country, and certainly in our province of Saskatchewan, to look at alleviating and developing programming that's going to be specific to working towards preventing chronic condition, but I guess in a better term, promoting health.
Well, I think from the very beginnings of my research, there was an obvious link between how one's self-esteem, how their identity shapes their well-being and their health. And I think specifically in Saskatchewan right now, the messages around the Aboriginal gangster have really dominated a lot of public discussion. And so I think, for what has been called the fastest growing demographic in Saskatchewan, there needs to be an examination into these systems that are creating these stereotypes.
These are things that our communities are saying, this is pressing. We need to examine this. And so, these are things that our students are saying, I'm getting a mandate from my community, I have to do this.
The Indigenous Peoples Health Research Centre is really important because it supports work that is community-based. So it supports the work that the community wants and that the community knows is necessary. And they really make sure that when they fund a project or that when they fund a student, it's something that's going to make a positive change in the health of our communities. And at the end of the day, that's really what all of us want.
But also being connected to a larger body of researchers concerned about Indigenous issues and Indigenous health.
The mentorship and the the opportunities to learn from other faculty and mentors within Aboriginal health research networks, and having opportunities to link with other graduate students across Canada who are doing work within Aboriginal health has been unbelievably invaluable for me, for my learning curve and understanding of the importance of respectful ways to continue to do research within an Aboriginal health context.
There's a lesson and a teaching in the way we are with people and with each other and with ourselves. So it's listening to those teachings instead of talking all the time. If we can just listen, I think we could learn a lot.